Alright guys, so I had another video request from one of my subscribers on any Tecumseh stuff that I have. You guys probably noticed this one. It's an older Tecumseh. Unfortunately, this one has zero compression in it. And unfortunately, it's because the guy that I got this from ran it without the air filter on it and wore the rings out. At least that's what I suspected happened. I'm not a huge fan of Tecumseh stuff. I'm really not. It's not because they're not bad motors when they're running properly, but oftentimes with the normal consumer, they just don't take care of their stuff. And while any Briggs lawnmower or powered tool such as that tiller right there, those can take a whole hell of a lot more neglect than these Tecumsehs can. Most of the time when I've had issues with Tecumsehs, it's because of the carburetor. I've had to rebuild them before, and sometimes even after you rebuild them, you still can't get them to work correctly. It's really unfortunate, but probably one of the worst things about Tecumsehs is, yeah, I can fix them and get them working again, but parts really aren't made for these anymore. And the ones that are still made are fairly expensive. Stuff like connecting rods, rings, pistons. You're not really going to be able to find that, and if you do, it's going to be just outlandishly expensive. I don't normally go and sell on Tecumseh lawnmowers anymore, just because, you know, most people that I sell lawnmowers to, they're not the type of people that look after their stuff. And, you know, in the sense with this one is the one that I freed up that was seized. I can't sell that on to somebody because I know someday it's going to blow up again and stop working completely, and I won't be able to save it. But for the time being, this is going to be a lawnmower that I'm going to keep. And that old oil is blacker than black. I don't know why exactly this thing seized up. I think when I first got it, it had oil in it. I honestly don't remember though. I might have had to put oil in it. But, you know, that's the big problem with Tecumsehs, like I was saying, is just parts are not cheap for them when you can find them. And this older one, I would love to restore this one and get it working again, but I haven't really looked into it all that much and even checked to see if there was parts available for it. But when you run a lawnmower without the air cleaner on, all that, like I was saying, all that dust just goes straight into the motor. And the cylinder walls are probably pretty scored up on this thing, to be honest. I don't even know if it'd be worth tearing it apart, but it is what it is. This one's been a good beater mower for out here, though. It mows pretty well. One of the things I don't like about it is just how small the opening is for the bag. It's that, you know, it's that size. It's been a good lawnmower since I unseized it, and it's just really lightweight, really easy to move around and load it in the back of the van if I needed to. Funny thing about Tecumsehs is, back when I first started working on lawnmowers about 8-10 years ago, these were a hell of a lot more common, and you know, they were easier to acquire, and that's how I first started getting into lawnmowers. Was a lot of the ones that I picked up initially before I did YouTube were Tecumseh lawnmowers. So I do have a good amount of experience with them. It's just I'm just not really a huge fan of Tecumseh stuff. Go ahead and tip it back over, and we'll throw some oil in it. I've still been using this Rotella T1 stuff. It's been a pretty damn good oil, actually. And it's right where it should be. Runs pretty good. need to replace that blade brake pad. I also fixed this handle too, if some of you guys remember. I was able to push it basically all the way that way, and that was because the guy had this nut for whatever reason on the other side of the handle. But I am kind of happy that I got this thing working again. It is pretty cool to have one of these old ones sitting around. I just know I have to replace this soon. Looks like it'll need to be replaced fairly soon.